What up, guys? How you going? Just got back from the surf. Sorry, it's a really cold day, so I'm not going. I don't have much light floating around. I was going to keep this closed even because it's chilly. So anyway, I mean, me and other people have been noticing, right, how neurotic women are getting, right? Look, people keep going on about the dating game is, just ridiculous these days. I was watching a speed dating session, and it was American, and I just thought, well, you've got like these walls up against people, and so many prejudices that are subconscious, and it's all subconscious with these people. Like they're not aware of their subconscious at all. You know what I mean? The light body is not reading that with them. There's no higher thought, right? So it's pretty interesting because when I was watching the speed dating event, the way they were sitting was like just they're put off each other immediately. I think there's so many things part of this. Like, for instance, even the fact of, the raising vibration of consciousness, right? Where you notice more stuff, so people are more put off because they're noticing more stuff, more conscious of stuff. So that's why I think it's harder, to find dates and stuff, some people reckon. I've already talked about this in the sense of targeted individuals. I mentioned the AI. I don't want to go into that again. We might skirt it, might come close to talking about that again. Kind of could be included, but I don't like to repeat myself and ideas. Anyway, I've been saying to people that I would talk about this soon, like just women, like it's not even just trying to demasculate, like it's a neurosis, and it's a fear, uber fear, too much fear has built up. And the main thing is this over-empowerment, because we're seeing that as part of Age of Aquarius, Return of Divine Feminine and all this, right? So you've got like this divine energy, feminine energy upheaval and uprising. And also you've got, light bodies switching on, right? So for a woman, they become more masculine. For a man connected to their light body, they become more feminine, right? I've said this a million times. Carl Jung knew about that. The higher anima and animus of man and women is the opposite of the lower, right? Like the lower ego, worldly sex that you are, either, which is one of two, by the way, if you look in nature. Mostly anyway, it's male and female, right? I'm not going to go into trans or anything. Or they, theming. I love the they, them. They've got that new adjective or whatever it's called. They, them. In other words, they don't have a fucking clue who they are. I'm a they, them. Isn't the most hive notion that you could come up with? Call me they, call me them. I don't know what I am. Like, what the fuck, honestly. And I'm seeing, these non-binaries. And it's funny because you might think at first, if you're really enlightened like me, sorry, how come I can see it all? It's not my fault. It's called enlightenment. You might say at first that the non-binary is, that higher aspect coming through where they're not, aren't we supposed to not identify when we're becoming enlightened, Ben? And yeah, that is part of the journey. On the way up, on the ascension part of it, you'll disidentify with your body in every way possible, depending how far up you go, right? And I've had at least a decade of that, and now I'm finally coming back down because the eschaton is over. But you've got people just doing this, their own escatons, their own little pops off the main timeline. And I don't know if they're ever going to get to where we are who experience the eschaton. Those of you who even know what I'm talking about when I use the word eschaton, I'm not sure they're ever going to get there. I said 10 years ago in 2012 it'll take them 10 years. What I meant by that was like the second, or the consecutive waves coming, because I see all these people like they kind of wake up a bit, but it's like a tiny bit, and that they kind of like they'll realize, oh, maybe something was wrong with the Maui fires. Like they wake up to like a social level, but it's it's shit all. We learned that there was temporal horizons, right, and there was galactic and universal cycles into 2012. And you're going to have to make your own now that you've missed it. And that's difficult because you have to basically latch on to that information. Like I said one time, a quote was, what was at the end? Psychedelics and love. Psychedelia and love. So that'd be a massive two pathways. Unconditional love and then doing psychedelics would be two big pathways. Obviously like meditation and stuff, but you get led there by the psychedelic. My point is that, you're going to have to create your own eschaton. You have to eschaton yourself. And it's a natural part of the awakening process. But I don't think that has anything, back to the storyline, I don't think that has anything to do with the binary stuff. I think the binary stuff is because we're in a simulation that's binary at some level, right? They found ones and zeros. Fuck, look at the wind chafe from me surfing. I'm so tired. I was up at like 4 a.m. I think the non-binary thing is from this being a simulation and it being on the basic like ego level. That's why they're like they, them, I'm non-binary, but they can't explain anything, and these people are far from enlightened, right? They're still going about the daily lives like nothing happened, right? Like there was no eschaton. They're not awake people at all. They're not spiritually enabled in any way. I don't see any of those people having light body aspects at all. Zero. There's no Bruce Lees or Benjamin Cowenbergs or Terence McKenna's amongst them. Zero. So that's why I've called trans and people like that ego eddies. Off the main flow of a river are eddies. Anyway, hopefully that's not beyond you guys to understand. Anyway, let's reverse back to the main storyline, which was about women and how neurotic they're getting. Man, as you guys know, I pick up girls all the time. I'm out there all the time. And, I get a lot of girls that get offended. Like, they just straight up get offended that you dare to even suggest, getting their number or hanging out or anything like that. When, and it's not like they weren't into, when 1 minute ago they were, into being friendly and stuff, and then it's like, oh, you've pushed me too far, right? I'm talking about they have these walls up, and that's neurosis. They're all neurotic. One thing that stops me being very neurotic is surfing, because every time I move and body gunk goes out, it's getting washed as well by salt water and stuff. So I'm going to write a book, Why Surfing is So Healthy for You. It's the healthiest thing ever. Because yeah, you can do that in sport and you have to push through, right? And you clear your energy field. That's why I can fuck organic portals and have sex with them and still not have just fully taken that in and assimilated all their sexual witchery and all the bad stuff coming through them. Let's just put it like that, so I don't have to go on about it, because I don't want to tangent again. So back to the point was, I always find these girls somehow, they're out there that are like very offended that you should be attracted to them. It's honestly hilarious every time it happens. Many guys will know what I'm talking about. And it's like these days a compliment has become an offensive thing to say to a woman. Hey, I'm calling you something good, saying something. I'm not being rude, like I'm not catcalling and going, hey, nice ass and stuff. Like, if I say, hey, you're beautiful or something, like I mean it, and you're standing out to me, right? And they get offended. Like, not all of them. Some of them are like, yeah, thanks, because they realize it's a compliment in what's going on. But obviously the other ones are what we call organic portals, and this is why my channel is so important, because this theme of organic portals is this massive background theme that just comes in and slices up everything, because it's such a background theme, just like simulation theory just keeps rearing its head to explain things for me for the last several years. And it's just doing a great job. Same thing with the organic portals. It's like a razor. It's like an Occam's razor. Occam's razor is out of science, like simple solution and stuff. So I find that it's not, I'm trying to, oh, there's one. She's an Australian surf champion, that chick. That just showed up in the message. Trying to tune her at the moment. And she's older than me, by the way. She's like 40 something, so I'm not just a pedophile. But fuck yeah, I love young girls, and now's a good video to talk about it, because they have less hang-ups. They don't get as offended, but they're there. Young organic portal girls are there too, and they still get offended. So it's not like age is a difference, but for organic portals. But what I'm saying is, I find less neurosis, and they're less jaded and neurosis when they're younger. Like older women, like it's like the brainwash has set in, the walls are up. You need frickin' sledgehammers of big dick for fucking hours to get these chicks' walls down. And I know, like for instance, Pleiadian Mystique, that chick. Remember that YouTuber that I was going out with for like a couple of weeks, who I knew from my high school? Only after lots of dicking these bitches down properly do they come back into themselves. And I'm not even being rude. They come back into themselves and they're suddenly, like, they act less neurotic. And it's obvious that they just needed that sex, right? Because it's not something bad. This is why I think it's funny when girls go, oh, I respect my body, so I'm not going to do anything with my body. However, I like the quote, I think it's one of the best quotes of all time. There's more to be learned from your own body than any philosophy, any of the greatest philosophies. You can learn more from your own body. And to reiterate, it all starts at the root chakra. Right. That's why I'm into tantric sexual healing so much, because it's just raising energy. That's all I'm doing. And I've talked about clearing the mana body, because that second dimensional body is where these walls exist. These neurosis walls exist in the second dimensional body. And that's why they're so impenetrable. They're very dense. And they make these women dense. They make them have emotional problems. They start getting thyroid problems. You wouldn't believe how many girls have thyroid problems and don't relate it to their emotions. Here, I'll put it very easily. I'll do your little flow chart. Emotion, hormone, and then the reaction of, fucking up your glandular systems and your thyroid and stuff. And I bet their hypothalamus doesn't work properly. I even bet that they got fuck all vision in their pineal, that their scintillation is reduced. There are so many effects. It's endless, because you're not raising energy properly. Because you're like, oh, sex is bad. You tell me in one way where it is. And you might say, well, if you sleep with an organic portal and, you take on their energies, yes, that's the bad place. But, someone like me knows how to heal that by going surfing. And completely, like a 4-hour surf completely clears my energy field completely. It's like Epsom salt bath times 20. Right? You do these 20-minute Epsom salt baths. I've done them too. They're fantastic. All the girls, all my girlfriends always say, hey, have an Epsom salt bath. And I'm like, I'm a surfer, you tripper. I'm sitting out there for hours in salt. And it's ormide, orbitally rearranged monoatomic elements. And let's not even go into it. It's fantastic, the best salt in the world. It's live and connected. I'm in the womb. Anyway, so yeah, I find, and you know, these girls don't ground, so they're missing, again, I'm grounded in the surf the whole time, in water, electrically grounded, negatively charged. And that's just it. It's like I said this years and years ago, one of my first videos, organic portals have more positive charge. It's like the positive charge is static and it creates a second dimensional wall of neurosis in your second dimensional body, which is your mana body, which you can obviously go clear by standing on mana, which would be, you know, coffee rocks and stuff, and volcanic rocks at the beach, stuff like that, or just rocks in a stream on a mountain. Rock energy, really good for clearing the mana body, the second dimensional body. Anyway, look, the point is that when you have your orgasm and explosion and stuff, you clear all that. And multidimensionally, all the other levels. So it's just amazing when people say, like, girls act like, oh, I have more respect than that for myself. In other words, you're dumb and you have zero respect for yourself and don't have a clue what you're talking about. Well, let's argue over it again. I'll keep proving you wrong over and over and over and over, and I can reiterate all day and for the rest of the week and the rest of the year. And it will be on this channel. That's what I'm doing. All they're going to do is avoid it, right? They're ignorant people. Anyway, I just find it weird, and you know, that women are like this, and I just wanted to say some factors which I suspect are behind it. So you've got Age of Aquarius, divine feminine energy raising. Sorry, it says I'm running out of space. So it's like an over-empowerment. I keep mentioning this, right? And it's also making them go into their higher masculine selves, which makes them more like a man and saying no more. The feminine energy is receptive. It's the male energy which is the directive energy. Man is head of spirit, woman is head of creation. That's why they always want to fix you up and get you a jacket. So I was thinking of this reggae song by John Wayne. Oh, how's it go? Some of them girls, she a real life rocket. Rub me up for me money or something in me pocket. Take me wallet out me pocket. Anyway, I forgot the lines. I forgot the song. So back to the reason why I think that women are how to summarize it. I don't really know how to summarize it. Why neurotic. The word neurotic keeps springing to mind. Why they're getting so neurotic. Why they're demasculating men. Notice age of divine feminine, but also notice what's happening in society. The whole trans stuff, and it's not just trans, it's part of something. I've noticed that generally, because here we are in the secondary feminine matrix, we're all born females until we get testosterone shots and turn to males at week 13 in the womb. So here we are in this divine feminine, the secondary feminine matrix. The non-spiritual matrix, might I add, kind of relevant to the channel, don't you think? Well, they're making this like demasculating society, so it's despiriting. It's not about masculine or feminine, it's just the masculine energy is that directive energy and man is head of spirit. So they're trying to kill that off, which is ridiculous because they need it, and it's where the flow comes from. Well, check through history, check all the men and who gave all the big massive ideas and reality change updates and shit. Hey, I didn't write it. I didn't write history. It just happened, right? Independent of how I wanted it to happen. But if you look back, you'll see what I'm saying. And it's not just because, oh yeah, but you know, women were not empowered and that's why now, well, I still don't see women coming up with good ideas. Where are these big world-changing ideas that the women are coming up with? And don't point me to the lady who was part of the computer shit. I forgot the name, but people always try and point me to this lady, and she was actually a fucking understudy of some dude. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Have you even looked into your own theories? Anyway, forgot the lady. Something to do with like inventing computing or something like that. Multiple people give me her thing like, oh, here's an example. Anyway. And then when you read about it, it's actually the dude involved that she was getting ideas off. Isn't that funny? Man is head of spirit, woman is head of creation. That's why they're always trying to like make you a certain way and manipulate you. That's why they're so manipulative. It's part of their nature. But what I'm saying is that, you know, when you have the undercurrent of divine feminine resurgence and empowerment of the higher masculine self of women, that tied in with it is like this recipe for what's happening. And no wonder what's happening is happening. Do you see what I'm saying? Because all those things combine to basically make women, like I keep saying, like in this kind of weird uber empowerment stage. And it's like, yay freedom. Freedom is fantastic, but it can also make you too squirrely. You know what I mean? Freedom can make you like too out of control as well. So we've got that as well, right? They're so empowered, they're free. All these young women in the world today, old women as well, right? They've got money and stuff. And it's leading to, all this is leading to an empowerment of the ego. Do you see it all? It's all coming into like this one place, which is causing the problem. The ego, which is going to be part of the prefrontal cortex here and the self-identification zone as well, which is where you do have to get everything. So we are just working through it. But I'm just giving you the reasons and what's happening. That's all. So will it go away? I don't know. It's a big energy current, age of Aquarius.